कर दिया स्टार्ट।
Thank you. So, very good morning to one and all present here. First of all, I request all the non-participants to keep their mic on mute. Let the speaker complete the session, and we will have a separate question and answer round at last. So, I, Abhishek Sharma, on behalf of Chaudhary Charan Singh National Institute of Agriculture Marketing, Jaipur, welcomes you all on the Kisan Mitra webinar series on agriculture technology for marketing, organized by Chaudhary Charan Singh National Institute of Agriculture Marketing, Jaipur, in partnership with Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India. Chaudhary Charan Singh National Institute of Agriculture Marketing, Jaipur is an autonomous organization established under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, to cater various agriculture-related aspects such as training, research, education, consultancy, etc., and agriculture marketing. National Institute of Agriculture Marketing is also recognized globally as a center of excellence in Southeast Asia. Kisan Mitra Friends of Farmers is an initiative by a Principal Scientific Advisor Office in partnership with Chaudhary Charan Singh National Institute of Agriculture Marketing, Jaipur. The objective of the initiative is to bring technologies to farmers and reverse migrants who have moved rural due to impact of COVID-19. Under this initiative, more than 1,000 technologies have been identified, which are supported by ICR institutions, NABARD, Ministry of Rural Development, ISRO, and Gates Foundation. So on the supply side of the technology, there are innovators, entrepreneurs, research enthusiasts, research institutions talking about the technology, and the webinar participants being on the demand side, who are typically agribusiness companies, government functionaries, other agribusiness stakeholders who are keen in agri technologies. Moving further, I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Dr. Sudha Masoor, who is currently working as a Chief Executive Officer in Agro Innovate India Limited, a Government of India company established under DARE and ICR, associated with technology transfer, commercialization, and startup support through National Agriculture Research System. Prior to this, she served as a principal scientist at ICR, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, Bangalore. She had 33 years of work experience in ICR and Fulbright pre-doctoral and postdoctoral fellow with rich working experience at Cornell University and Michigan State University, East Lansing, USA. Her research efforts include economic analysis, impact assessment research, technology transfer and commercialization, and incubation support. She handled various research programs sponsored by World Bank, NAIP, ICR, AP SAS Fund, etc. Her international recognitions includes working and presenting at Cornell University and Michigan State University, USA, Sri Lanka, Biodiversity International, UNEP, JEF program, Business School, France, China, and Thailand. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sudha Masoor to take a session on technology commercialization. Over to you, ma'am.
Can you hear me, Abhishek?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Abhishek, for giving such a good introduction. I am extremely at the outset, I am very happy to be participating in this webinar series and sharing my experience on technology commercialization. I think it's a wonderful platform that you are bringing so many people together, and we are trying to bring supply side and demand side, especially in the agricultural sector. Now, having said that, I have been taking part in some of these webinars. And what we are seeing is, although a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of technologies are coming, probably there needs to be a certain amount of institutionalization, which will help both the supply side and demand side people how to take it forward, the technologies, what exactly needs to be done. In this connection, I think what Agri Innovate stands for and how we do the processes will be very useful. Having with these things, I'll be starting my presentation. I think I'll have a presentation for about 30 to 35 minutes, followed by any questions I'll be more than happy to take. I'll start sharing my screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
One second. I'll talk to you later. I'm in a presentation. Sorry about that. So is it full screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what I am planning to speak today is technology commercialization and incubation,
Ma'am, make it full screen.
ICR's perspective. Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
as I said, Agri Innovate is a Government of India enterprise. It's a very unique kind of organization, which is actually owned by DARE ICAR, Department of Agriculture Research and Education. DG ICAR is the chairman of this company, and various important people from ICAR are also on the board of this company. I'll talk about a little bit about all this, what we do in time to come. Now, I was thinking, if you look at the agri startup systems, it looks like agriculture and especially Indian startups ecosystem has done extremely well despite the fact that we've had COVID and other problems. Now, if you see, the data shows that almost 22 million US dollars, it has increased to $240 million in the span of 2 years. And very important, some of the topmost companies are Agnext, Aqua Connect, and Fasal. So many people are playing, making a very good drive, making very good impact on this. Now, if you try to analyze this, most of these seem to be running around social media apps, digital platforms. Some of them also are working in the space of supply chain management. What's happening? Slides are not moving. Okay. So the new emerging business opportunities and agri-tech, if you have to see, market linkage seems to be one of the most important one, especially so given the COVID situation, lot of supply chain disruptions have taken place. And there are many people, including the startups and small players, are also trying to make a dent on this and help both sides of the consumers as well as the producers. Then second one is digital agriculture, traceability, digital transparency, traceability. These are also importantly addressed at. Then more important is access to inputs and farming as a service, making farming services affordable for small and marginal farmers. And of course, financing innovations taking roots in farm financing are also some of the important things that seems to be happening. Now, I would like to little more talk on all aspects of it, but maybe on the agricultural access to inputs is something is what I'll be talking about. Now, if you look at as per NASSCOM report, there seems to be the outlook is more towards transforming these agri startups, and they talk about innovations, then working capital, ease of doing business, and collaboration, Startup India, digital infrastructure. These are all there. All these are this seems to be most important point that we are going to be dealing with. Having said this, I would like to tell you that there have been a lot of institutional mechanisms from the government of India also which are helping in startup promotion. I'm sure most of you must be very familiar with this. And ICAR, being the top of this pyramid as apex body, has several such innovative technology management proposals are there with ICAR. That's what I'll be talking about today. And we have what is known as technology-based incubation facilities, which are about almost 25. Now they have become 50 incubation centers across different ICAR institutions. Now, many startups can directly take access to these incubation facilities and help build their business models. One of the, in this proposal, one of the very popularly known incubator is AIDEA, NAM, and they have conducted some UDAN, and also they are working closely with BIRAC, and regularly they are announcing and helping startups take their advantages to especially business incubation mode. Then all of you are also aware of the Raftar program. I'm sure many of you have taken advantage either at the pre-seed stage or funding stage either got 5 lakhs or 25 lakhs of funding support. And in addition, Niti Aayog also has a lot of facilitation. And I am putting our own organization also in this list, because what we do is a very unique kind of a service that may be of much use to some of you who are starting as a startups. Now, when you look at the kind of challenges that we always come across, is some of the, I'm getting into little more into what kind of problems are we looking at. Of course, market linkages, supply chain management, these are some of the things. But more, if you go into the input sector alone, so giving the supplying inputs, you also come across several of these things are grand challenges which we have to address. For example, sensor-based quick testing methods for nutritional nutrients and micronutrients in soil. That is a challenge. Or you have shelf life extension, adulteration of fresh produce, agriculture implements, pesticides, insecticides. All these have a huge potential where you can play a big role in solving some of these problems. Now, one of the things which always used to bother me, and I always tell, is that when you look at the innovation pathway, it is a very tough one. So, if you have to start from scratch, you have to be very thorough with many of the issues that crop up. I'll be talking some of addressing some of these aspects. But on the other side, we have the institutionalized technology commercialization pathway, which is being adopted by institutions like ICAR, which are doing a thorough analysis from starting from research, spending almost 6 to 7 years. Then they come up with an innovative approach. Then that is getting approved in their own rigorous matter. It is approved. Then it gets into IP protection. Then they do a technology evaluation, and then they license out. And on addition to that, they have also have a hand holding facility through incubation. So I think instead of somebody is trying to start the wheel, reinventing the wheel all over again, maybe can make use of some of these systems which are already very well established. Now, I just wanted to make very clear what exactly we mean by technology commercialization. What is an incubation? Just for the sake of a definition. So, in a technology commercialization, you have a technology which is market ready, which all regulatory compliant technology, and you are transferring it to as a licensee. You are an inventor or a licensee to a licensor, a client, purely for commercial scale production under mutually agreed terms and conditions for a specified period of time and a given geographic territory on a non exclusive basis. I just want to make it very clear, at least an ICAR, a Government of India perspective, non exclusiveness is the most important thing we give on a non exclusive first come, first serve basis. On the other hand, you do have an incubation facility, what I was talking about in all the ICR institutions. Here, you are going one step ahead. You are supposing you are a client and you have taken a technology from us. But if you have to start commercial production, in addition to spending time or money on acquiring that particular technology, you also have to run about getting all the approvals. Then you have to start your business. You have to establish a unit, then get all the approvals, and then it will take you at least minimum 1 year, 2 years, maybe 5 years. Instead of that, what we are offering to you is a hand holding facility in most of these incubation centers where you can start your production immediately using the infrastructure available with these institutions, produce it, take the help of the technical experts who are regularly guiding you, and then also provide a market linkage sometimes where you can sell your produce and see how the market is, how you are performing in the market. Then establish yourself and move out and start on your own. By the time you complete 1 year or maybe 2 years, you are well established and you also understand the nuances of doing business and you are moving on. That's exactly what the hand holding. And of course, this is on an exclusive basis. one-on-one that we are providing. So these are two, three types of specialized incubation we offer. One is technology based, where you take a technology, you have licensed out and you are commercially producing. Second thing is you have an innovative idea and you want us, you don't know how to go about it. So you need some amount of business mentoring and you need market support. You constantly need someone to guide you and take you through. Even that process we are providing. And some people come to us with specialized requests, like for example, somebody wants to file a patent, somebody want to get some kind of assistance or doing some additional testing. All these are also possible under this incubation hand-holding support. Now, I thought I'll deal a bit on what kind of a system that we have under ICAR and where does Agri Innovate fit in. Now, ICAR has started this entire process of technology based commercialization way back in 2006. See, I'm sure most of you are aware that initially we were not into this gambit of invention, innovation, technology management till almost 2006. Once we signed the TRIPS agreement, it became compulsion that we have to fall in line with the World Trade Organization, and then we have set up our own systems. So ICAR has set up a three-tier system, technology management system, with technology, IP and technology management center at the center. Then we have 12 zonal technology management institutes spanning entire India, one in the south, one in the north, one in east, so that all the institutions under that particular zone are covered. And we have institute technology management units in established in almost 63 institutions, which were taking up this commercialization. Since 2008-9 till almost 2018, they were all doing extremely well. Even now, these institutions are working. But ICR felt there is a need for having a centralized system which will oversee all the functions and have a one-stop shop for all technologies under ICAR. About 100 institutes are our participants. So hence we started what is known as an Agri Innovate India, which is a for-profit company owned by the government of India. Now, what exactly our role is, as I was telling you, it is a more of a centralized facility and it's one-stop shop for all market-ready technologies. And we also handhold and curate up capacity building and in IP and management and impact assessment we do, and we also help in technology valuation and pricing. Now, our priority areas include the entire supply chain of an typically agriculture system, seed and planting material, bio-based agri inputs like biopesticides, biofertilizers, nano inputs. One thing I would like to very importantly stress here, these are all regulatory compliant technologies. Similar is the case with animal husbandry. We have diagnostics, vaccines, testing facilities, fisheries, nutritional products, and post harvest value added products, small farmer friendly agricultural implements, even biotechnological processes fall under our gambit. Now, although we've started, this Agri Innovate was started in the year 2011, we did have a lot of hiccups and we could not start our operations almost till 2018. And between 2018 till the date, we have almost commercialized about 52 technologies and we've earned almost 1.5 crores. And this is the way we have done and various sectors. And we do technology commercialization. One of the foolproof and working model of technology commercialization under Government of India setup is, I think, ours is the best. Now, as I was telling you, these are all the institutes which are under our gambit. There are about totally 100 or 110 institutions, and our important clients include various public sector organizations or sometimes private companies, and very famous ones are also doing business with us. This is, if you see zone wise, all these institutions are under our gambit. Now, one thing, if you are a technology commercialization person and you want to take up something, you want to start an institution, for example, somebody like Niam, it's important, I always stress, is that you need to have the rules set. The guidelines and rules should be set, then only you can go forward. We had our first guidelines in ICR in 2006. Then we had, see, an institution also employs in various other aspects, not just technology commercialization through technology transfer, but we are constantly involved in consultancy, contract research, contract service. So we've had to have a guideline which just defines all these roles. And then we had revised our guidelines, linking all these aspects into our revised guidelines 2018. I think it's downloadable, and instead of reinventing the wheel, you can, many of the institutions can adapt this as is, and many of these SAUs are taking this and following this. And we are also trying to help many of the state agriculture universities, and we are taking them into our fold as well. Now, one of the things I would like to stress upon is like when I'm not very completely familiar with the kind of technologies that are being presented here, but one of the things I would like to caution or give an advice to any of these technology developers or who is looking for a market is you need to have a technology preparedness. That's very, very important. So when you're talking about, this is called technology readiness levels. This is what DST has defined. And there are about 9 levels under which your technology can fall into. So most of the times what happens is you are very fascinated. You worked your very hard and you came up with the lab scale, whatever you have started is working extremely well. But when you take it to the scale it up, commercial scale, many times you end up having a lot of problems. So these are to be looked into, and you need a lot of guidance in taking this forward. And also, one important thing is that de-risking at various stages is also very, very important. And then comes, especially in the agricultural field, regulatory compliance becomes an important issue. You have to be, whatever technology you are coming up with has to be environmentally safe, ecologically safe. For human consumption, it has to be checked. It should have, if it is supposing a biofertilizer, it has to follow certain rules and regulations and have the approvals. Biopesticides need such certain different kind of approvals. Or, for example, if it is a value added product, the entire gambit of FSSI licensing is different. One has to be very familiar with these things. And this takes a lot of time, energy, and money. And that is also something one needs to really work on. And of course, the scaling up process itself is very, very tough. And I'm just cautioning you that it does take a lot of time and one needs to be educated. And most of these incubation facilities or institutions which you are associating yourself, it's good to get associated with some of these institutions because they will provide you this kind of a training, mentoring, and hand holding constantly whenever you need. The other day, I was in Amity University. They also have an excellent incubation service where they provide this kind of a service based on a case specific way they take it up. Now, one thing is that one needs to have a understanding of what are all these levels and at what stage one has to be your pitching, what more is required, and how you can make your technology foolproof and take it forward. The next important thing I would like to stress upon is one of the things, evaluation of technology is the most trickiest part of the whole thing. Now, techno-economic feasibility has to be done before your technology is brought to the table. Now, this is something very important, and in my next few slides, I'll be showing you how we do it. So, unless terms of trade are finalized, and one of the important thing in that is pricing of technology or costing of technology. Now, many times what happens is you have spent a lot of money and you don't account for many of the things that you have done, and you don't even know how much money you have spent at the end of the day. So that for that sake, we have a costing sheet which gives the innovator an idea of starting from the labs that are used, the equipment that are used, the manpower that you are used, how much time they have spent, and how many man months has gone in, and then account impartially, you account for the entire cost that is spent, so that you at the end of the day you know how much you have spent. Now, why this is important is that at least you have your basics right. So when it is important also from the point of pricing of your technology, because if you look at international WIPO or other organizations, international organizations, they could approach a cost based approach or a market based approach. So when you take a market based approach, it is very difficult because you need to have what exactly is the gap that this technology is going to fill in the market. Now, I'll tell you a couple of examples, then I think you will understand what I am saying. So, when we supposing we example is that we've developed a variety, say a tomato variety, we have spent about 20, 15 years and we come up with the variety, and when the costing we did, it's almost coming to about 40 lakhs. Now, 40 lakhs we have invested. Now, when I want to license this out, is there somebody who is willing to pay me 40 lakhs of this technology? No, nobody will come forward. Then you will have to have an approach and say, assuming that I'll have at least 10 people who are willing to take it, and then I pitch my technology at 4 lakhs as a license fee. This is one approach. The other approach is that supposing you are very sure that your technology is going to be making huge dent in the market. For example, we have a technology which is called Microbial Consortium. We had started it as a growth promoter, but when we actually started doing it, it almost did extremely well, and it could help people reduce their cost of cultivation up to 40%. So I should be charging much higher, but many people don't want, the licensees are not willing to pay you more. And then in this aspects also, the costing becomes very important. Then many times what happens is you don't know how your technology is going to perform. For example, a simple light trap technology, one of our institutes has developed and commercialized. Can you believe that technology has made a business of 100 crores? I am not exaggerating. This is the kind of money that people have made out of this technology, because at least 5% as a royalty or 2% as a royalty, the institute itself has made so much money. But when we try to price it slightly higher, the private companies are not willing to take it, saying that, why are you charging so high? Because we are a government of India enterprise. So these are some of the things that we need to tackle on day-to-day basis. So hence you need to have the understanding of techno valuation and commercialization is very important. And one thing is, since you are licensing it out on a non-exclusive basis, your MOU is a very important, what you call, instrument that will be a legally valid document. And so it's better you have these things properly written and it is registered so that people are not taking you for a ride. Now, having said this, I thought I'll spend some time on the kind of incubation support that ICR institutes are offering. Even when I was presenting the other day, a lot of interest was shown on this incubation support. We have started it in 2009 with 22 incubation centers. Today we have 150 incubation facilities are there. Many of you may be knowing that ICRISAT has a wonderful, very successfully run incubation center. And under ICAR, if you see IAHR, or if you see Fisheries Incubation Center, Spices Research Center, IARI, these are all very popular and they have done extremely well and they are still doing extremely well. Now, what is this incubation? What exactly we offer? So, like I was telling you, either take a technology and be an off-site incubator, or you be with us on our campus, produce it, market it, graduate and go out. Or if you want some specialized service, then IPR service, field trials also will help you with that. Now, I thought very quickly I'd give you a few examples. This is one I was working earlier at IAHR. This is our incubation facility. And I'm very proud to be associated with that. But we have started several of these technologies. I just spent about another 5 minutes maybe on this one because this guy, one of these guys, he is Aryabhatta is his name. And this guy came from a village and took a technology from us. He made his own logo. He worked with us. He stayed with us on site incubator. He calls it Aryabhatta. And he has done extremely well. After 2 years, I think he has established his own business occupation and he is making quite a lot of money from some of the products. Similarly, is this case, BioPest, he has taken some of the technologies like biofertilizers and biopesticides, and he worked with us for some time, and now he is on his own and doing extremely well. This is another very interesting case of AgroBio Solutions. He has taken this vegetable special, banana special, and 4 5 technologies from us. He licensed them out and he stayed with the other incubation center for 2 years, and then he developed his market. And today he is one of the very successful entrepreneur. Same is the case with, he was the first incubating fellow, Krishi Biosis. He took biopesticides and he was directly marketing and he has established a dealership and all that. Now, there is one lady who came and took some technology like dry flower technology. She also, as a return gifts in a wedding or some kind of a small enterprise, so she also has done very well. Now, one of our own scientist colleagues started this micropropagation technology. Her own technology she licensed, and she also has established a very nice, successfully running facility, which has been funded by BIRAC also. Now, this is the most, I would say, our star performer, Natura Crop Care. He got Melinda Gates Foundation for the best horticulture enterprise. He has been selected in various forums. He has even been selected in an Indo-Brazil program where he is going to be one of the successful agricultural entrepreneurs who's going to visit Brazil. And Brazilians have come and seen his setup. And he has beautifully integrated and taken almost 30 technologies from various agricultural universities and institutions. And he offers a full basket of technologies. One thing I like to stress here is that we see a lot of reports which talk about huge funding facility, next, and think people who have raised funds, but very few talk about these local successes, people who have done really extremely good and are performing very well. In that sense, I wanted to highlight this. And this is another person who took value added products and he has established a setup in Krishnagiri and he provides backward linkages to the farmers and he also does value added products, especially osmotically dehydrated fruits, and he exports as well. This is another person who took a simple technology of mushrooms in a box. This is his novel idea. This worked very well. I hope he is doing well as well. For 2 years, he is doing extremely well. Now, this is one of the first incubators or technology licensee who has been, a lot of studies are there on him by IIM, and he has really taken this technology and made it into a wonderful agri-based business. There is another lady who came from Bombay and Divine Click. She also has done extremely well, taking some of the osmotically dehydrated products and value added products and done well. So, having explained some of these things, now I'll quickly run through what exactly AgriInnovate offers to you. What is that we are trying to do? So, one second. So we do technology commercialization. How exactly we do the technology commercialization process? Now, what we do is as soon as you, some institute or somebody wants to have a technology commercialization done through AgriInnovate, we ask them to provide us a technology disclosure form, which gives the entire disclosure about how the technology has come, what are all the basis of preparing the standard terms. That becomes a basis. And we have a committee where we have the inventor, the institutes, or the head of the division, an expert is sitting there and help the inventor understand the process and come out with what should be the pricing, how you go about. Then we do a techno commercial assessment. Then the committee prepares the standard terms of what should be the license fee, what should be the royalty, what should be the period of license. All these are finalized, and then that goes into AgriInnovate's website. We help them prepare the business development activities and helping the business activities for the client. Then it is placed on our website, and based on the request that we receive on the website, we will take the expression of return, and then we'll contact each one of them and do a kind of a due diligence to verify whether this company is correct or right path or what they are doing. And then we do a testing and validation of products, and then we share the terms of trade with the company. And once the company agrees to the terms of trade, then we prepare a draft agreement. Each and every agreement goes through a legal vetting process to make sure that there are no legal aspects are involved. Then the signing agreement is signed. Then once the agreement is signed, then we handhold, and there is a kind of a technology disclosure is done and a training is given, so that the company is, whoever is ready, they can start producing it. On the other side, whatever the money that we have received, we share the revenue. 70% we give it to the innovator or the institute, 20% we take, and 10% goes to ICAR. So, and then after 4 or 5 years, we do a renewal. We also make sure that royalties, all those things are collected by us. So, this is in summary, this is submission, TDF preparation, techno assessment, standard terms, all this are taken care of. Now, I also want to just how to go about it. You can just visit our website. You will see that there is a technology, agriinnovate.com. You can go to. There is a section called Available Technology where all these technologies are listed. You click on any of the technology, a description of what the technology comes, and then there is a box which says express your interest. Once you express the interest, your details come and you submit it. It comes to us and we take it forward. For example, I'm just showing this is the kind of a details will be there for each and every technology. You press here, you will have the end product is there, and you expression of interest, you press, it takes us to the box and where you fill your details. Now, we also have been doing this facilitation, technology commercialization, both domestic and overseas markets. But entire NAS, National Agriculture Research System, that includes the SAUs and others also. Anand Agriculture University, Navsari Agriculture University, they're all with us. And we have executed one of the international technology transfer sometime in 2019, December, one pseudostem transfer to Botswana. And we also provide capacity building and IPR specialized courses. And we are also into facilitating startup support and some of the commercial scale production of products, which are all also there in the pipeline. That's about what I have to offer today. Thank you for your patient listening. You can get this presentation, and also you can get in touch with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sudha. Now I would request all the participants to unmute their mic and raise their questions one by one. You can also write your questions in the chat box, and I will just read those questions for you on your behalf. Ma'am, one question when you are presenting to me, one question came to my mind that how like we are also running an incubation center. So as we have a lot of startups who have already picked, some of them has patented their products and services as products as well. So how we can associate those startups with you so that you can deliver that kind of technology transfer and can commercialize, and you can also provide those startups a platforms where people can get those as a licensee. They will be the inventor, and there will be a licensor who are those clients.
Exactly, Abhishek. We also, there is a lot of such requests are coming. What I will suggest is you can send these requests. See, because we are as a company, we are governed by a governing board. At the moment, we are handling technologies of NAR system, and we will definitely be able to take this also. But there has to be some amount of approvals, and also we'll have to talk to them and see whether they are willing to for the revenue sharing model they are willing. Those things have to be, and definitely we can work on this, no problem.
And then one question came from Senthil that we are producing cocoa peat and organic growth medium. How to get government institutions orders for our products?
See, cocoa peat and medium, cocoa peat, even IHR has a technology for cocoa peat. You'll have to talk to the concerned government officials, and we'll have to 2 3 times show them that these technologies are very important. But like sometimes for example, biopesticides, I was told that the government calls for tenders. Tendering process happens and they collect the huge quantities are distributed to the farmers. But the tendering process, you have to apply and become a what you call authorized supplier, and then farmers can buy from you. In case of cocoa peat also, it is a process, and I think some people have to really approach it, and it will take some time, but it has, of course, a lot of efforts being done also.
One question from Purushottam Sharma. How can agro-innovate help in commercialization of fooder crop varieties since private sector takes less interest in fooder compared to cash crops?
See, our model is simple. You write to us, you tell us if you have a kind of variety, you want to work with us, we will get the necessary approvals and see whether we can be able to. And one advantage of you, if you are, it is posted on our website. So many requests come, we'll pass it on to you. And supposing we have a seminar or we keep having this B2B sessions sometimes and B2C sessions. We will give you a platform where you can come and exhibit your material. All these exposures we'll give you, all those will be helpful.
Any other questions? Ma'am, as you said that you are a one-stop solution for all market-ready technologies. So, as all the ICR institutions and everybody is associated with you, so how I just want to have one question that as an inventor, everybody is able to contact those institutions and just get their products registered there. Like how at a farmer who has invented something and at a very grassroots level can contact with those ICR institutions and get the his product is also listed in the with you as a licensor, as an inventor.
See, there are two types. One is PPVFR has been promoting farmers' innovations. Supposing a farmer has a variety, he has direct access to PPVFR, and institutions like ICR institutions also help him. I will highlight here one case in, Tumkur is in Karnataka is very famous for jack varieties. There are very unique types of jack, hundreds of jack varieties are there. Now, one is very beautiful, somewhat coral color jack, and very small and very nice it is. So IAHR helped this farmer and registering it with PPVFR. Not only that, and we had a reverse MOU with this farmer. We multiply, IAHR multiplies these varieties and sells it, and whatever sales produce comes, 75% we give to the farmer, and about 10 or 25% we keep it for the IAHR as a for all the work that they have done. This is one way. Second is farmers, if they have a variety, they can register with PPVFR directly, no cost. But when it comes to commercialization, they'll have to come through us. For that, it will be good. So, for example, if somebody has a millet variety, he comes through the Millet Institute, then it will be easy for us to take it forward.
Thank you, ma'am. So one question from Sankara Rao. What he's saying is he's representing a private university, NMIMS Mumbai, with our
Uh,
agriculture campus at Shripur, Maharashtra.
okay.
He is wishing to establish an innovation incubator. He is seeking guidance in establishing that, and he's saying that to whom I should contact for that.
You can actually you can write to us. We can come and help you in talking to you, in giving the fundamental steps to go about. And also there is another one called AIDEA NAM. NAM is an institute which is based in Hyderabad. You can contact them. Any one of us will be able to help you. There is no problem at all.
And can we share your email ID with the participants?
My official place, official
Yes,
Agri
yes,
Innovate,
yes,
CEO Agri Innovate, you can
yes, ma'am.
share. Even the presentation, you can make it a PDF and share. I have no
Okay,
problem.
okay. Ma'am. Any other questions from the participants?
Thank you, Abhishek. I
I,
hope the
yes,
presentation
ma'am.
was useful.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am. Thank you. Your presentation has provided us with deep insights. Many thanks for the sharing your invaluable experience in agriculture sector. Participants really got benefited from your talk. And at last, I would like to thank all the participants for sparing the valuable time with us. Our next webinar will be on Tuesday, 25th of August, 2020. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sachin, please stop recording and save the chat also.